Hello viewers, this is a brand new Factor O2 VAM and it's so light I can hold it up with just my little pinky finger. It's claimed to be the lightest aero disc brake bike in the world right now. And this size 56 without pedals weighs an astonishing 6.3 kilograms, and with pedals, bottle cage and a computer so it's ready to ride, it weighs less than the U-size weight limit of 6.8 kilograms for the pros. So very, very light indeed. But what's it like riding such a lightweight race bike? In this video, I'm going to find out. I'm going to try and get a KOM on my local most hated climb. But first, let's go through the details on how they made it so light and aerodynamic. Because I'm David, and you're watching Just Ride Bikes. It wasn't so long ago that race bikes were always lightweight. But then they added disc brakes, electronic gears, and aerodynamics, and the weight shot up. So a new bike is a step in the right direction for anybody that cares about how much their bike weighs. And that weight is achieved with no fancy one-off exotic carbon parts, all standard off-the-shelf components. So the weight is very impressive, but it's not the lightest bike in the world. The Specialized S-Works Athos has that title with a weight of 5.9 kilograms, but compared to that bike, this one has all the aero features you expect of such a race bike and full integration with a one-piece carbon aero handlebar and stem. Better comparisons are the Giant TCR Advanced SL and the current Specialized S-Works Tarmac SL7. But both those bikes are 6.7, 6.8 kilos without pedals, race numbers, power meters, and so on. So against those rivals, this bike is looking very, very good indeed. A defining feature of the new bike is this amazing slender tapered top tube, which looks absolutely stunning, which flows into a new seat mast. So the top tube makes use of a new UCI rule around the minimum thickness of a tube, so 10 millimeters in this case. And then we have a seat mast. Now the idea here is to remove the clamp and the metal hardware from this junction here, which as you can see is very, very small indeed up here. So less reinforcing needed around the junction, and also to boost the comfort in the saddle by allowing this whole area to deflect more when you're riding over rough roads. So weight saving and comfort are the benefits from the seat mast. Seat masts like this are used by several bike brands, Giant and Trek, and they do have the pros and cons, and a lot of people aren't really fans of them as a system. Factor does have several options for the seat mast, different offsets and different lengths. There's quite a bit of adjustment available in this item alone. And we have a very small metal 2-bolt clamp on the back which presses into this reinforced seat mast. And so far, based on 2 rides, it seems to be working fine. No slipping, no creaking, and it comes off quite easily, so packing the bike shouldn't be too much of a hassle. But I know that'll be a big talking point on the new bike and perhaps a deciding factor in whether you buy it or not. So let me know what you think by leaving a comment down below. You can see just how aero this new bike is from all the tube profiles. We have these truncated D profile sections for the head tube, the down tube and the seat tube. And that seat tube is very dramatic in having a flat back, and then super skinny rear stays down to very chunky chain stays and a big oversized T47 bottom bracket for maximum power transfer. The new bike gets full internal cable routing with their own black ink one-piece carbon fiber stem and handlebar with a D-shaped stereo tube inside. And a nice detail on this bike are the ceramic speed SLT solid bearings like Carnago and a few other brands are starting to use. A light frame alone doesn't make a lightweight bike, and these new wheels are part of the reason it is so light on the scales, with a claimed 1,146 gram weight. Yet, despite the low weight, they have a generous internal width of 23 mil, so play well with wide tyres. They are tubeless compatible. I've currently got inner tubes in, not had time to change them, so we'll do that later on in the review. I guess we should talk about price really, and what such a lightweight bike will set you back. And I do hope you're sitting down for this. You really do need to be, because the price is quite staggering. So the frame, just a frame set on its own, no components, will cost you £6,300, Wow, that's more than a Pinarello Dogma F, a Specialized S-Works Tarmac SR7, a Carnago V4 RS. In fact, I can't think of another frame from a big bike manufacturer that costs the same. Let me know if I'm wrong by leaving a comment down below. But of course, a frame is no good without components. And this bike here will set you back nearly £12,000. Add a power meter and you're over £12,000. But the good news, if you go down to Force or Ultegra, you might have change from £10,000. So yes, a very, very expensive bike indeed. I'm not really sure how the company can justify such a big price tag that is more than some very well-established, long-running brands with lots of heritage and history. But there we go. Right, here we go. One of the bigger, tougher climbs near where I live. And my time to beat, 9 minutes, 45 seconds. Let's see how we get on. Definitely the lightest bike I've ever ridden up here. I know the climb very well, unfortunately. I spent a week riding up it every day for a video. Link above in case you missed that. The climb starts off fairly mellow, so the aero benefits should be a help. But it kicks up really steep in two places, and that's where low weight should be a big advantage. We're trying to maintain a high pace on this easier section is tough, get your heart rate straight up. But so far it looks like I'm ahead. And now, as you can see, it ramps up for the first time into a little ring. Got to pace myself. It feels amazing out of saddle. It's impressive how stiff it is, despite the low weight. There's no sacrifice of frame stiffness. Up to 19, 20% there. You really feel the lack of mass, the lack of weight. Every time you push the pedal over, it just feels a bit easier. Right, final push for the line. I think I'm going to do it. Set a new time. I can't blame the bike, that's for sure. There we go. Sometimes I really hate climbing, but on this bike I must say I enjoyed it a tiny amount more than I normally would. But did I set a new PB? No, I'm 12 seconds off my PB, so the bike didn't accelerate me above my personal best, and I'm nowhere near the KOM. Andrew Feather, you might have heard of him, has the KOM on his climb, and he's several minutes faster than me, so that's well out of range. But the bike was definitely very impressive. My lack of form, my lack of fitness, carrying a few extra pounds was the reason I didn't set a new time. So it's clear, despite the name of the game of the bike being weight, the weight isn't everything when it comes to going fast up hills. But this bike wasn't designed for me, it's designed for the pros who are very, very fit. But a bike like this needs to be more than just a climbing god. So my first impressions on riding the bike are that it felt very flighty and almost a bit delicate. And it's hard to put into words just how it felt, but it just felt a bit more alive and a brighter sensation, but that very immediate sensation from the saddle and the handlebars and the pedals is that it feels more lively and sharper than other bikes I'm used to riding at the moment. I think the seat mast and the way the saddle is connected to the frame through that seat mast has something to do with the way the bike feels. Now, I said it felt delicate at first, but that soon faded as the miles rolled by underneath the tyres. But it never feels as solid, as reassuring as the Carnago V4 RS or the NV Melee. But that's just the sensation, the experience of riding a bike based on several rides. I'll keep riding it and deliver a more long-term review in the future. The way the bike steers, handles, is very familiar to most other race bikes. There's nothing radical in the geometry here. So the way the bike turns and steers and goes through corners feels very predictable and very neutral. And then there's the comfort. They claim this seat mast is all about delivering more deflection at the saddle, and so far, based on the riding I've done on my local rough roads, the comfort of the saddle has really surprised me. I say surprised because I was expecting such a lightweight bike to be compromised when it came to comfort. But the smoothness of the bike has impressed me so far. As much as I've never been a weight weenie, this bike might just change my mind. So with all that said, I'm off to find some more climbs. Now thank you so much for watching the review. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Right, I'm off. And what goes up has to come down as well. Let's see what the bike is all about on the descents. No point winning the climb if you can't hold that gap down the other side. And right now the bike feels good. Very predictable handling, very typical of a race bike. Not getting as much aero benefit from a deep section wheel, but these shallow wheels are good in a slightly windy condition today. And the bike feels settled, doesn't feel delicate or skittish. It feels really good through the corners. Yeah, the bike can descend as well as it climbs, which a bike like this needs to be the all-round package. And there we go, up and down, the bike can do it all.